Hello, Timmy Nafso here, Executive Vice President of FortisPay. If you're not adapting, if you're not growing, if you're not changing, you're dying, and that's a scary thing for a lot of retailers out there. What we really seeing happen here is interesting. We've talked several times about the Toys R Us bankruptcy, how so many retailers, especially the big boxes, are being threatened by the online institutions, by retailers online, by Amazon, by eBay, so on and so forth. And we've been discussing this possibility of coexisting, and you're seeing companies like Target really start to focus on coexisting. You're seeing companies like Amazon go in the opposite direction by opening retail locations. So companies like DSW recently announced this concept as well of enhancing their store experience. So one side of it, right, originally they went and they started to focus on the online branding, online delivery, selling against Amazon and Zappos, and what they found was they kind of were going against their grain. So they started to focus on what they were really good at, which is being in the retail space and focusing on the experience. Remember, it's not good enough anymore to just take a box from X location, put it in Y location, and sell it to Z. It's not enough anymore, especially when you have folks working at your establishment that really don't know or have passion about your product. And the corporate world, the big box world, actually that's how they've been living for 20, 30, 40 years, right? Back in time, right? Back in time, the person that sold you a vacuum knew everything about vacuum cleaners. They came door to door. The person that sold you knives knew everything about knives, or the Avon lady coming to your door to sell makeup knew everything about makeup. And now it turned over to this concept of profits and keeping costs down in big box businesses. The experience actually has went in the opposite direction. So what has DSW done? Well, in Columbus, Ohio, they're testing this concept of, hey, if you want a manicure and a pedicure, you could do that here in our store, right? Everything having to do with, feet and shoes, essentially, they're going to be involved with, right? And enhancing the experience of the children shoe buying experience. They also are doing things like shoe shining and shoe repair, anything having to do with shoes, where it's this concept of bringing people in the door, and while they're there, they'll buy something else, right? Toys R Us, why did they go out of business? All they were doing is taking a box from here and selling it here, eventually ended their life. So what could they have done better? They could have made it a Lego experience or a learning experience, building out toys, building out robotics, right? Do birthday parties at the store, and while they're there, kids are going to be buying things before they leave. They're going to be bothering their mom and their dad to buy them something like we all did. So with that concept, we really want you to think as a small or mid-sized business about this idea that they're just people in a room, right? DSW, when they sat in a room and they made a decision to change their model and go to the online store, they looked at that and they made a decision and it didn't work, so they pulled out. It was okay to fail, right? Now they're saying, let's try something different. And they're in their Columbus, Ohio store, they're having a lot of success. And it's not that they launched this across the country. They launched in one local market and really created an experience for everybody in that geographic, demographic vicinity. So think that way, that hey, I don't have to totally change my entire company in order to adapt. If I'm not comfortable yet going to the online retail market, or I don't feel that I can compete there, well, just focus on home, right? How can I make the experience better for my current customers that are here so they don't have to shop anywhere else, right? How do I keep them here longer? How do I make this a better feeling, a better experience? How do I make sure that when they come into my store, that my staff knows more than that online retailer? They're going to give them the reviews that they want, and they're going to want to buy from me. Right? So those are the questions that we have to continue to ask ourselves and continue to adapt to. And then the online, yes, it is something that's important. You do want to start to focus on that, but not in lieu of changing what's happening inside your retail store. Okay? It's in addition to doing that. So please, if you have any questions, comment below. Thanks for listening.